Well, welcome back to Dunkirk Dunes. So I'm going to go ahead and do another recap here of we've just finished Japan's turn 1 for this BBR5 game that we're doing. Brother Pius is in command of Japan, and let me just kind of go over what he's done here. So he had 26 to spend, and he spent 4 on his tech advancement, and then 12 on a factory, and then the remaining 10 he spent on an artillery and 2 infantry. And as far as attacks go, just a few here. So he's just beating up a little bit on China on this turn 1, which is maybe expected. So what Japan has elected to do is they've taken the 3 infantry and the artillery from Guangxi and moved on into Yunnan. And also a fighter and a tactical that started out somewhere over here on one of these coastal territories. I think they probably started here. Anyway, they have opted to join that battle there in Yunnan. And then the 2 strategic bombers that are also there, those came in from Tokyo. And all of the planes in that battle just have 1 movement remaining in their gas gauge. And then the other attack that our General Brother Pius has declared is an attack on this Chinese territory of Hunan. And he's pushed in the 3 infantry and the artillery that begin here in Guangxi. And then he's also brought in 2 fighters, one that started out in Taiwan and one started out in Okinawa. And then also the 2 tacticals and the 2 fighters that begin the setup there up in Manchuria. They have also come down to join this attack on Hunan. So he's got overwhelming force there, obviously, with the 3 infantry and the artillery, and then the 4 fighters and 2 tacticals. So as far as kind of how these battles resolved, so the battle in Hunan, the defending 2 Chinese infantry there were eliminated, of course, and on their return fire, they did not manage to get any hits, unfortunately. In the battle for Yunnan, they did a little better. Of course, they had 4 defenders there. So in this battle here in Yunnan, they have been eliminated, all 4 of them, but on the return fire, they were able to inflict 2 casualties on the Japanese. And so we have there a loss of 6 Chinese infantry to a loss of 2 Japanese infantry. And then as far as non-combats, and we're just going to start by landing these planes. So what Brother Pius has elected to do is to land these planes. Well, he doesn't really have a choice here. That all the planes that are in Yunnan, they have to land in Guangxi because they only have 1 left in their gas gauge, and so that's the only valid landing spot for those particular 4 planes. Then for these other planes, the 4 fighters and 2 tacticals that were in the battle in Hunan, they are all going to go ahead and actually land in Kiangsi. So go ahead and land those here. So the 4 fighters landing here in Kiangsi, along with the 2 tacticals landing in Kiangsi. One other additional attack, I neglected to mention it, but the 3 infantry and the 1 artillery that start out in Shantung, they have moved here into Anhui. So we've got that. And then also, I neglected to mention this one as well, the 2 infantry and single artillery that start out in Jehol have moved into Chahar. So that's these 4 territories are now going to be Japanese, and so that's worth 4 on the income tracker. So Japan is going to go up by 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And China, of course, is going to go down by 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, down to 8. Okay. And then Brother Pius is actually finalizing the rest of the non-combat movements. And so I will just splice those in as soon as we've got those other orders. Okay, so it's actually been a week or more, but here are the non-combat moves that Brother Pius has elected to make. So first is this transport here in C-Zone 6 is picking up a tank and an infantry, and then following the yellow arrows, moving down here to C-Zone 36 and offloading that armor and infantry into Kwangsi. That's the yellows. Done with that. Okay. Next is we have this transport here in C-Zone 19, following the blue arrows, is going up to Tokyo, grab the infantry artillery, coming back to C-Zone 19 and offloading into Kiangsu, Shanghai. So that transport just ends right back up there in same place, C-Zone 19. So that's the blue arrows. And then, let's see, the next non-combat movement, so these green arrows. So this transport here in C-Zone 20 is moving up to C-Zone 19, grabbing the infantry and artillery off of Manchuria, and coming back down to C-Zone 20 and offloading them into Kiangsi. So we've got that now. And then, let's see, these 2 infantry that were in Kiangsu are marching down to also be in Kiangsi. So I'm going to chip that out there. There are now 3 infantry there in Kiangsi. That was that little red arrow. And then, let's see, okay, then the black arrows here. So this is naval movement. So the 2 carriers loaded, and a cruiser and a destroyer and a sub are all coming down from C-Zone 6, coming down to C-Zone 20. And so that is all of the non-combats. So quick disposition of forces here. So we have, I'll just start here in Tokyo. So in Tokyo we have 4 infantry, 1 artillery, 3 AAA, 2 fighters, 2 tacticals. In C-Zone 6, well, let's go ahead and place units here as well. So he's also switched his purchase. This is a friendly game, so okay with that. So he's going to, instead of buying 2 infantry and an artillery, he's going to buy a transport, and he's going to save 3. The factory that he purchased is gone into Shanghai. So going back to disposition of forces here. So in C-Zone 6, there's a battleship, a transport, and a destroyer. In Korea, there are 4 infantry and 1 fighter. In Manchuria, there are, let's see, I've got 5 infantry in Manchuria. I might need to double check that. I was thinking maybe it should be, no, that sounds right, because I think anyway, I think that might be right. 5 infantry, 1 mech, and 1 AAA. Chahar has 2 infantry and an artillery. Johol and Shantung are empty. Anhui has 3 infantry and an artillery. Kiangsu, which is Shanghai, has 2 infantry and 2 artillery. Kiangsi has 3 infantry, 1 artillery, 4 fighters, 2 tacticals. Hunan has 3 infantry, 1 artillery. Yunnan has 1 infantry, 1 artillery. Guangxi has 1 infantry, 1 tank, 1 fighter, 1 tactical, and 2 strategic bombers. C-Zone 36 has 1 transport. C-Zone 20 has 2 carriers, each with a fighter and a tactical, 2 cruisers, 1 destroyer, 1 sub, 1 transport. C-Zone 19 has 1 battleship, 1 destroyer, 1 transport, 1 sub. Iwo Jima has 1 infantry. Okinawa has 1 infantry. Palau has 1 infantry. And Caroline Islands has 2 infantry and a AAA. And then C-Zone 33 there has 1 loaded carrier with a fighter tactical and a destroyer. So I think that's basically it for Japan. They collecting 30 and they saved 3. So we're going to grab 2030, and then here's the 3 that they saved. So they've got 33 on hand for next time. So thanks for watching. That's it for Japan. So up next is going to be the US and China. I thought it would also be fun to highlight a few of these 3D printed Japanese naval pieces that we're working on finishing here. But these are from Axis and Allies board gaming. But here's just a few, just a sampling. Here's the Akagi. Here's the Kaga. Here's the Soryu. Let's refocus it here. And this is the Hiryu. Here's an example of a Congo class battleship or a battle cruiser. And here are some Japanese cruisers. So here's a Mogami class cruiser. And here is an Agano class cruiser. And here's a Tone class cruiser. But we are working on sets for all of the nations, but here's just a small sampling of some of the Japanese naval pieces. They're a lot of fun.